Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Scott Selections here for Sunday, October 6th. Before we get into the play of the day, quick reminder of what we ended up doing yesterday. We made a video late last night, hopefully all of you have seen it by now, in which we ended up giving out the Bears -5, which was available at FanDuel at -110. That line has jumped to 7 at this point as money's poured in on the Bears, and we ended up getting a very good number there. In terms of the leans for the week, for week, 5 of the NFL, we've already covered, or is it week 6? I don't remember, either or. We covered all the leans for the games. However, I did mention yesterday that I would be making another video today on one of the 4 o'clock games, which is why I did not give out any leans for those. And in terms of the game that we're going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at a matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, which should be taking place at roughly 4:25 Eastern Time. And in terms of this game, we actually like a player prop here on FanDuel that we think possesses a lot of value, and it will actually be on Geronimo Allison over 3.5 receptions, which is available at +100 on FanDuel. Now, the main reason why we like this is due to the fact that the Packers have no receiver depth at this point in time, as Devontae Adams, their star receiver who went for 100-plus yards in the first half last week against the Eagles, ended up getting injured. He hurt his foot, and he will not be able to play in this game, which means that the Packers' depth chart right now at receiver is currently Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Geronimo Allison, Jake Kumero, Alan Lazard, and Darius Shepard. Yeah, if you haven't heard of half those people, neither have I. I know Lazard ended up playing a bit in the fourth quarter last week against the Eagles, and he was actually the target for the final pass that he somewhat dropped that led to the interception in the end zone to end the game. So I question whether or not Rodgers actually trusts him, but the main reason why I like Allison here at 3.5 is just based on volume alone. If you look at what ended up happening last week, Allison actually had the second highest snap percentage of all receivers on the Packers team. Specifically, Valdes-Scantling led the way with 86% of the snaps on offense. However, Valdez was actually on the field for 80% of the offensive snaps. So Valdes-Scantling was on there for 86. Allison was on there for 80, and I think that he should be able to have enough reps in order to actually reach this total. He had 63 offensive snaps. Rodgers is going to want to throw the ball. Based on how the Cowboys were able to, I don't want to say stop Kamara, but they definitely limited Kamara. Since Rodgers doesn't have many weapons to work with at this point in time, I think he's going to try to make the best of what he can do. I think that if the Cowboys stop the run game, which I think they should, as Aaron Jones has been pretty underwhelming so far this season, with the exception of a couple touchdowns and one big game earlier in the year. Overall, he hasn't really done much. And I think if the Cowboys stop him and they force Rodgers to throw, I think that Allison will be Rodgers' favorite target today, as Scantling is relatively young, and Allison has been a very sturdy veteran who's been around for a long period of time. In terms of the defensive core, of course, the Cowboys' best cornerback is going to be Byron Jones. However, he only plays one side of the field, so he's not going to be following anybody around. I think they'll try to get Allison into space. I think he should catch some balls. And I think that as long as the Packers aren't cruising at any point in the game, Rodgers should throw the ball at least 30 to even 50 times a game. And I think at that type of volume, Jimmy Graham should be easy to cover from either Sean Lee or Jalen Smith or Van Der Esch, as Graham pretty much doesn't have much mobility anymore. So it might be difficult for him to get open against the Cowboys' elite linebacking core. Other than that, though, I definitely think Scantling's good, but he's still young, so I question on how fine-tuned his routes will be, especially considering the fact he is mostly a deep threat, and I think Allison should be the possession receiver underneath. And I think at 3.5, considering the fact that he should get so much volume, I think those odds are insane. I think +100 is definitely a steal. I think it should be somewhere in the realm of -1. I think it should be -120, to be honest. I think he should end up with at least 4 or 5 receptions in this game minimum. So for that reason, the play of the day for Sunday, October 6th, will be Geronimo Allison over 3.5 receptions, which is available at +100 on FanDuel, and that will be the play of the day. Now, in terms of the other 4 o'clock games, and the Sunday night game, which I'll give leans on, what do I like here? Sorry, let me just get the totals up as well because of the spreads there. In terms of the Chargers-Denver game, first of all, I don't think the Melvin Gordon returning means anything. I think Gordon's going to do pretty much what Elliott did in week 1 in the sense he's going to get maybe 10 to 15 touches, and then they're going to give it to Eckler. Eckler is clearly a capable back who has the ability to do everything on his own. So I think that Gordon will be eased into the transition. I don't think that'll really matter that much. In terms of Denver's defense, though, Bradley Chubb has torn his ACL. He's out for the year. Big deal for the pass rush. I still think the Chargers are overrated. I don't think they're very good. I know money's poured in on the over. It's gone from 44 to 46. I don't get it. I would take the under. There's no way I'd ever take an over with Joe Flacco involved and Denver's offense, so I would personally lean to the under in that one. In terms of Green Bay, Dallas, I have to lean to Dallas at 3.5. Devontae Adams being out is huge. I know Rodgers historically has killed the Cowboys, and I get that. But at some point, you got to look around and just see who's just the talent difference on this roster. Packers defense is solid, but got exposed last week by the Eagles. Cowboys offense looked terrible against the Saints. I think they'll bounce back. Do I think Dak will go off? Not necessarily, but Green Bay's rush defense got absolutely gashed by Philadelphia's average at best, rushing attack. So I think Elliott should go for at least 100. I think he will have a big game. And I think the Cowboys should win by at least 7. So I will lean to the Cowboys there. And in terms of the Colts and the Chiefs, money is coming on the over from 54 to 56. A lot of money is coming on Kansas City. I'm actually going to lean to Indianapolis here. I think that Kansas City should win. But at the same point, you've crossed some very key numbers over there. You crossed 10. I don't think the Colts are that bad. I think that they had an awful week last week against the Raiders due to some injuries to T.Y. Hilton and to Leonard and to Desir. They've gotten a little bit healthier lately. I think they should play better. And I think the Chiefs are going to win, of course. There's no way that I think that the Colts are going to upset the Chiefs in Arrowhead on Sunday Night Football. But Brissett's pretty good. I think that the defense as a whole is okay. I don't think it's the worst defense in the league. And Kansas City's defense still sucks. So based on that, for me, I think Kansas City could win this game by 10 points. I would lean to the over, as I think this game will end somewhere in the realm of, I'll say, 35 to, I don't even know, 35 to, 35-27, give or take. I think it'll be close. I think it should be one possession for the majority, but I will lean to the Colts plus the points in that one. Other than that, though, that's going to be this installment of Scott's selections for Sunday, October 6th. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.